today we are going to be diving into the Neretva Bread Maker. This is the PE8866GR. Now this box is very unassuming. This is actually the packaging for the box, all right? So it's a 550 watt, 120 volt. Let's see, it's made in your favorite country, I think, and it is a bread maker. Now, the reason that I got this bread maker is because it also has, one-touch bread making where you throw the ingredients in there, let it bread make, but it also has a 14-hour sit bread making function if you're making like sourdough or stuff. And we got some sourdough starter that's 200 years old coming from California right now. All right, so let's see what we can find inside. This is super cute. I think my wife is gonna like this. It is a beautiful, I think it's pink, oven mitt. I guess to take out the pan when you have your bread done. We got a colorful brochure in here. All right, and I guess that's what our bread is gonna look like afterwards. Now, what I really like about this, it also has a light, medium, and dark. Looks like 10 pages in here. It's got a recipe booklet plus all of the functions for the bread maker. All right, it's got a little bit of stuff inside there. Here's the first peeks of our bread maker. Look at this, all the different functions. All right, and we got some more stuff in here packed. Here's our little bread canister there. So we've got a measuring cup here that goes up to 1 cup. We've got a little hook. We have, what do we got here? A tablespoon and a teaspoon, built-in measuring. And we also have the mixing blades, which I believe that is a gold color. Here is the bread maker in all of its glory. We got the bread making bin, same color as the mixing blades. And on top we have a color, which of course I told you I'm gonna go for light or white. It's got the weight that you are making. So your blade, to get in there, you want to make sure that it is facing away from clockwise, all right? This is how it needs to look when you put it in and lock it in place. You see on there, it has a little notch. Right here has the corresponding notch to put it on so that it does not get tripped up when it's making you bread. All right, the blade is ready for the party. Until it grabs inside, and then you turn it clockwise, ready to bake. What I love about all the recipes, it shows you exactly how the stuff is supposed to be in there. Your egg or liquid in the bottom, then your oil, then your salt, sugar, milk, powder, then your flour and yeast on the very top. Now, one thing that the direction says, if you put an egg in there, you cannot do the 15-hour delay because your egg will go bad, all right? So if you have any recipe with an egg, you need to make it right away. All right, so the presets that come on it are 750 gram bread, which is the weight. It comes on medium color, and it goes on recipe number 1. Now, if you want to change the color, you just go here for dark, here for light, and that's what I'm going to be making all of mine on. And if you need to change the weight, you select the different weights, 750 or 900 grams. You'll have your menu here, so you can change the different recipe types, and it actually changes the times depending on the recipe types. So it's got 20 total settings. Numbered settings here correspond with the settings in the book. So if you're using a different recipe book, like I got this bread machine recipe book, you find the recipe that is closest to what you are making, and you use that program when you set this one here, and you select the number for the program. If you're using a different recipe book than the one they provide, you're either going to be using the 1.5 pounds or 750 gram recipes, or the 2 pounds or 900 gram recipes. It's not exact, but these are the 2 recipes that you're going to be using. Recipe is the faux sourdough bread recipe on page 144 of the No Fuss Bread Machine Cookbook. Just picked this up. We're going to be doing a bunch from this book. Today we're going to be making the faux sourdough bread. Now, I do have some sourdough starter that's 200 years old coming from California right now. But until we get that, we can actually use, in lieu of that, we can use apple cider vinegar and sour cream. Apple cider vinegar and sour cream to get the faux sourdough bread flavor. So we'll see how that goes. 3/4 cup non-chlorinated water. One-third cup room temperature sour cream. 1.5 tablespoons of vinegar. Now you can either use white or apple cider vinegar, depending on the flavor you like. 2.25 tablespoons of butter, melted and cooled. Three-quarters of a teaspoon of salt and 3/4 of a tablespoon of sugar. All right, we have 3 cups of bread flour. It's gonna go right inside. All right, and we're gonna use 1 teaspoon of active dry yeast. Throw that bad boy in there, right on top like a cherry. We're gonna close our lid, and we are going to choose basic bread from these different guys here. All right, so we're gonna go back to number 1. All right, we're gonna select our color. It's currently on medium. We're gonna select it on light. And we did the 750 or 1.5 pound bread in there, ready to go. We press start. When we get to the end of the timer, we will have bread here to pull out. All right, it has ended. It got to 0. It is on the light setting. It smells amazing. Okay, so it's got the little hole in the bottom from cooking. It's got a wonderful texture on top. This is the light setting that I went for, the lowest setting you can get. Right here, we have it in our bread slicer. Let's go ahead and slice a slice and see how it tastes. All right, this was the faux sourdough bread here. It's fresh. It actually smells quite like sourdough bread. So the bread machine made it fully cooked. It's got a good crisp flavor to it. It's not the super sourness of regular sourdough, but it's pretty yummy. Bread machine put out some pretty good bread. Has a nice smell to it. Has a little bit of crunch on the outside of the crust. It is nice and tasty in the center. There's nothing like fresh hot bread. The Breadmaker did a good job. Had a little beep at the end, let us know that it's ready. For the ease of use of being able to just throw the stuff in there, let it go. The bread itself came out pretty clean out of the pan, and you could actually smell a little bit of the bread smell coming out while it was cooking. But I give this one a thumbs up. It worked well. I enjoyed it, and if any of the 20 different settings don't work for you, you can do a homemade setting on there, so you can set the time and the weight and all that kind of stuff if you want as well. So definitely well worth it. We're going to go ahead and see if we can try every single one of the recipes in this guy here, the new No Fuss Bread Machine Cookbook. And so we'll have some more coming to you soon with the Neretva Bread Maker.